Hello, hello. Welcome to the Marieinawe podcast show. This morning, we are going to do the awe ritual that I like to start with every morning. And it goes a little something like this. Soul activate awe. Body activate awe. Heart activate awe. Mind activate awe. And I just feel this energy opening me up, running through my body, and it feels so loving and nourishing and nurturing. And I hope that you feel that too whenever you do that. So we're going to do that every start of the podcast. I'm just going to go into that as a way to welcome everyone into this beautiful world of awe. So I was thinking this morning about all these overwhelming things, events that are happening globally, and how that might impact our communities, how that might impact our families, how that might impact us as individuals, and how for a lot of people, the tragedy can be overwhelming, the incomprehensibleness of it can be overwhelming. And a lot of times, what people will do, myself included, is just that it's too much. So when you create this barrier, lots of people often will choose to shut down or numb. And we do this by escapism, right? So we might go to a different place just to have a different view, just to get out of this mental clogging, this energetic clogging, this too muchness, this density of like, I can't get out of this mode of just not feeling overwhelmed or of being overwhelmed. This can also be addictions too, right? So like diving into social media more and looking at all of these endless self-help posts, right? Or this could be completely tuning out and just binge watching a show or playing video games or just tapping into a fantasy land to not hurt so much. I mean, really, that's what it is at the end of the day, is like the pain is on the verge of being crippling, and I need something to distract me. And distractions are totally helpful and they're useful. And it's important to have something to go to that just pauses the intensity of something. And I believe that when we do that too often, that we end up living in those other worlds more than this world, that is when it becomes a little more ungrounded, right? I was going to use the word dangerous, but let's use the word ungrounded. And one thing I noticed is that during all of these catastrophic events in the world, I've been doing that practice in the morning, right? And so what I have found when practicing the soul activate awe, body activate awe, heart activate awe, mind activate awe, that I am simultaneously like plugged into the energetics of the world while zooming out even more, so that I see that this is something that is happening in this now, in this moment, as part of this larger timeline, as part of this larger way of existing in the world. And so for me, like zooming out, which is what the awe effect has on us, allows me to catch my breath knowing that, that saying, this too shall pass. And so it can be viewed as a distraction as well, and or it just allows me to not negate what's going on, but just remind me that there are so many moving parts in the world, in the universe, in this lifetime, and that this part of it is what it is in this moment. And what it is in this moment is part of something that is significantly bigger than we can ever even imagine. And so like the other part of this is like, being really in the moment. So, okay, so all has this like what I've called the accordion effect. That's not like a real name. That's just like something I've made up. But the accordion effect is like this ability to zoom out and get that bird's eye view, that like 100-year centurion view, that 1,000-year view, that like 3,000-year view, whatever it is, to just really zoom out. And so that is what eases my nervous system, and to zoom super close so that it's like almost like at a microscopic level, right? So that there's just so much space between the zooming out and the zooming in, and you can oscillate back and forth between these two in order to regulate your nervous system into your life, right? So that you're not hiding from it, that you're not overwhelmed by it, but that you are here doing the best you can with what you've got. And so when you zoom in and you go into the minutia, the detail of it all, it's like, again, like the events of what's taking place globally or even personally in our lives, that becomes the overarching view into this small little tiny, like, let's go deeper into, say, on a personal level, let's go deeper into the emotion of that, let's go further into like the layer between, like, uncertainty is like fear, right? And what's the fear of something new? Is it the fear of something new, or is it the loss of like something that you're comfortable with? And so it's just going deeper into the core of things. And once, and I don't know that can be scary for a lot of people, because it's terrifying to go to the root cause of something. Like, it can sometimes be like the most painful aspect of existing is going into the deep root, right? Because like that's where shit hurts the most. But when you get there, you can address that and take care of that wound versus layering upon layering of band-aids on the superficial wounds, right? So again, it's just all opens up the mind, opens up the heart, opens up the body, opens up the soul. And by knowing when to oscillate between, that 3,000-year-old perspective or the 3-year-old perspective of like, what's this thing in front of me? Let's go deeper, deeper, deeper. Or the 3,001 where it's like, let's go wider, wider, wider. I think the quality of living, the quality of our energy, the quality of our life is significantly more different when we're able to oscillate and know what kind of nourishment we need in that moment. What kind of perspective do we need in that moment, so that it may either be a vitamin for us, like replenish, regenerate us, or it can be used as a balm, right? It can be used as healing if you're already in this mode of like, ouch, that hurts. Like, awe is used or can be used as a balm, right? And it is nourishing and nurturing in that way too. And when we use it as a vitamin, so this daily practice I've been doing, it's really felt like a vitamin for me. And what I mean by that is like when you're like building up your reserves, like when you are making sure you're as healthy as you can be, when you are preventing something, when you are just maintaining, not just maintaining, actually, like fortifying and strengthening, right? Those are the words I think of when I think of a vitamin. And when I am in this mode of practicing that daily activation, activate awe, right? Activating awe, I can feel it nourishing like my cells and my mind and my heart and my being. And it has now, I now have like a reserve of it, right? And so there is like this buildup of it in me, around me, and it is so centering and grounding and loving on me that when I go through something, it doesn't throw me off my center as much as it used to. Does that make sense? It's like, oh gosh, a scenario, like, for example, in my personal life where there is friction between myself and a loved one, right? And in the past, what that would do is just kind of derail me. It could derail me for the day or for a moment or for an hour, or it could derail me for several days or for weeks, right? Or for months, even, right? Where you just like, that hurts, wall up, not going to deal with it, or I'm going to deal with it and like poke it till that like bleeds everywhere. I mean, there's so many different reactions that I used to have in the past. And as I'm going through this very personal turmoil right now in my life, this daily awe practice has fortified me so that I feel like I have the capability and the expansiveness, and I feel well resourced, right? I feel well resourced to handle what demands come up, what pains come up, what uncertainties come up. And so instead of going, holy shit, this is too crazy, too much, I'm going to derail. I'm going to go off into la la land. I'm going to go, I was going to start using a Texas accent, but I'm going to go drink, or I'm going to go binge watch. I'm going to go do something that just allows me to just not think about it, not deal with it, right? But with this, I feel like, I don't know, like I could, I'm like falling apart in a way that still feels like I'm held. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like there is this protection around me, like this layer of energetic awe that surrounds me, that's both in me and like outlines my being, my body. It's a container. And within this container, like I can feel like there is pain and hurt and breaking apart in little ways, like fractures in my being. But at the same time, this coat, this layer of awe is still like holding me and hugging me and loving me. And so it is being held through the process so that I don't have to collapse. I don't need to collapse. I don't even feel like I'm going to collapse. I just feel like little fractures, but it creates almost this like, I don't know. I'm thinking what's coming to mind is like a lizard when a lizard gets its tail cut off and it can regrow that tail, right? That's kind of what awe feels like to me. It's like, okay, well, you can cut off like whatever it is that you're going through in your life can feel like it is cutting you off from a source. It's cutting you off from being true to yourself. It's cutting you off from love, whatever it is, right? It's cutting you off. It's creating a barrier between you and something so that something disappears for a while. But with awe, it allows you to, like the lizard, regenerate and regrow this part of you or heal this part of you a lot more quickly, a lot more effortlessly, a lot more easily, because you are just trusting this energetic container that is supporting you and holding you and carrying you and nourishing you. And I almost want to say like, it's like mothering you in a way while also fathering you in a way. I think of like the masculine energy as like this, I keep saying container. It is this like safe, secure feeling that gives you a sense of groundedness, of like being protected. And at the same time, the motheringness is this feminine energy of like nourishing and like giving so that you may thrive, right? And so those two energies are in this practice of awe. Those energies are from, oh man, it's like it's from the universe, right? And I love that we just have access to it at any point. We can tap into this unlimited sense of the divine oneness. It's unlimited. It truly is. And when we tap into it, we're not taking it away from anybody else. And in fact, and why I bring that up is there's like the old sense of the martyrdom, like falsity, where if I take this, then someone else can't have it. And it's like this zero sum mindset, which is negated when we tap into awe and the connectedness of everything everywhere all at once, right? And so it's a resource for everyone. It's a resource for you. It's a resource for me. It's a resource for your neighbors, for your family, for your colleagues, for your employees, for your friends, for whoever wants to tap into it. It is magical. And here is the amazing part of this too. Not only is it for everyone and for you, even if other people don't tap into it, when you decide to tap into the magic of awe, it is contagious. It is so beautiful that like when you tap into it, it is automatically going to flow to other people. You cannot help it. That is just the way it is. That is just how it exists. Once you tap into it and you become a flow and a river of it, it will naturally course out to other people, whoever you come in contact with, whoever you're speaking to, whoever you're thinking about, whoever you're writing to, whoever you are engaging with, if you're on social media, it is contagious. And so what's been happening is that when I tap into this, which is daily, right? And even throughout the day, I have noticed there is this effect on the world as I'm walking around that was creeping me out at first, that people would just be looking at me and smiling, right? And, I usually, like, I've had that where I walk around and I just smile at everyone, but this feels different. And I'm not like consciously like trying to go out there and make contact with people right now. But what's happening is people are coming to me and looking me in the eyes and just big old smiles, and not even like the fake tight lipped shit. It is like the full on teeth smile. So I know it's contagious, and I've seen the results of it being contagious, and it is powerful stuff. So I can sense that it is radiating out of me when I'm in this practice, and that it is blessing everyone around. How beautiful is that? Okay. So please let me know if you have tried this practice of awe, how it might be both a vitamin or a balm or a healing ointment for you at this time in your life, how it might help with oscillating between the big perspective and then the teeny tiny deep diving in perspective, and knowing which part of the oscillation tour you're on. I am sending so much love to everyone. I know that it is Scorpio season, which is time for great changes. The veils are thin, all those words, all those feelings, like the bridge between worlds is like pretty apparent right now. It is a time of great transformation, both globally, locally, and personally. And so may all be with you. Oh, here's a little good juju for you, and I will catch you next time. Ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo.